Good evening and welcome to SnapShot. Tonight, we begin with the latest information on Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, who has been formally charged with first-degree murder, aggravated murder by state authorities in Utah who are seeking the death penalty. Tyler Robinson was captured on Saturday, the 12th of September, 33 hours after he carried out the assassination of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. It was Tyler Robinson's father, Matthew, who arranged his surrender to law enforcement. President Trump first broke the news that they had a suspect in custody during an interview on Fox and Friends. Tyler Robinson was confirmed as the suspect at a press conference later that morning by Utah Governor Spencer Cox with law enforcement. Speculation about Tyler Robinson's motive for assassinating Charlie Kirk began as soon as his name was released. Governor Spencer Cox confirmed during his press conferences what the messages Tyler Robinson had carved into the bullet casings into the rifle he used to assassinate Kirk.
Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
There was a lot of misinformation and disinformation about Tyler's motive. There was fake news that Tyler Robinson was a grouper based on the fact that the extended Robinson family are registered Republicans and are of the Mormon faith. There was also fake news that his father, Matthew, worked in law enforcement when in fact he runs a kitchen, countertop and cabinet business. But at the beginning of this week, leaks, which were later confirmed by law enforcement authorities, revealed that Tyler Robinson lived with his transgender boyfriend, Lance Twiggs. Lance Twiggs is a biological male who was wanting to transition to female. Tyler and Lance were both into the furry fetish, meaning that they gained sexual gratification from dressing up as animals. Tyler was a consumer of anthropomorphic, which is speaking animals, cartoon, gay pornography online. Tyler confessed after assassinating Charlie Kirk to his Discord online friends, saying, "Hey guys, I have some bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs." There was also the messages he sent to his boyfriend, Lance Twiggs, after the assassination. They read, "I am still okay, my love, but I am stuck in Orem for a little while yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I'd hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age, but I am sorry to involve you. You weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Why? Why did I do it? Yeah, I have had enough of his hatred, meaning Kirk's. Some hate can't be negotiated out. I am able to grab my rifle unseen. I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully, they'll have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it yet. How long have you been planning this? A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it has a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon and hope they don't find prints. How the fuck will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly big meme. If I see Notice Bulger's UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. I'm going to have to leave it. That's really fucking sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I think that was a $2,000 scope. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle. It is very unique. He's calling me, not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty die-hard MAGA. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love. I am much more worried about you. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews. Tyler Robinson had clearly become radicalized into specifically LGBTQ extremism. His grandmother, Debbie Robinson, said he, Tyler, was raised conservative like us, diehard Trump supporters, but he got all leftists in the last year or so, going on about trans rights and hating on people like Kirk for their views. Tyler Robinson received the Resident Presidential Scholarship to study at Utah State University in 2021, but left after one semester. He was currently enrolled in an electrician apprenticeship. He was online from a young age. His mother, Amber, had a photo from 2013 showing a 10-year-old Tyler complete with a computer setup. It is through the internet years later that Tyler developed his furry pornographic fetish. The FBI is currently investigating whether Tyler Robinson had any links to Antifa or Trans-Tifa militia groups, and if there are any possible co-conspirators. Law enforcement has stated Tyler's boyfriend, Lance Twiggs, is cooperating with their investigation, but he could still face charges. Many far-left radicals celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination online. Some even made lists of which conservative activists and commentators they wanted targeted next. Many of them were then fired by their employers. Some worked as teachers or worked with children or held a healthcare job. Some are claiming this is an example of cancel culture, but as the Daily Wire's Matt Walsh explained, there is a difference between losing your job because of a different opinion and losing it because you celebrated political violence. Jimmy Kimmel Live has been pulled from the air indefinitely by the ABC America network after affiliate stations owned by Nexstar and Sinclair pulled the late night so-called comedy program after Kimmel repeated the debunked fake news that Tyler was MAGA, along with a tasteless monologue.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
Again, leftists are claiming this is an example of cancel culture, but this seemed more like an excuse by ABC America, which is owned by Disney, to cancel Jimmy Kimmel due to his low ratings. Trump posted on Truth Social, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert. If that's possible, that leaves Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC." President Donald J. Trump. Of course, Donald Trump's show The Apprentice was aired on NBC. Later in the day, Donald Trump posted on Truth Social that he was listing Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. "I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster and major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Leftist media and commentators claims that Kirk's assassination would bring in more authoritarianism, and they cited Kimmel's taking off the air as an example. But it is worth pointing out that the reaction from conservatives and Christians who admired Charlie Kirk following his assassination has been to pray, not riot, loot, and murder like leftists and Black Lives Matter did after George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose in 2020. And conservatives have called out Attorney General Pam Bondi for saying there is no place for hate speech after Charlie Kirk's death, which would be the most perverse way to honour his legacy, given that he was a vocal opponent of the concept of hate speech, let alone laws against hate speech.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action.
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything, and that's across the aisle.
Conservative commentators and activists have been doing much on-air reflecting on the way forward for the movement that Charlie Kirk built prior to his assassination. Ben Shapiro of the Daily Wire will continue to debate college students, but no outdoor events will take place. Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, during her powerful eulogy, said that Turning Point USA would not be cancelling its college tours.
Knowing that one of his mottos was never surrender. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. Ever. Our campus tour this fall will continue. There will be even more tours in the years to come. America Fest here in Phoenix this December will go on. It will be greater than ever. The radio and podcast show that he was so proud of will go on. And in a world filled with chaos, doubt, and uncertainty, my husband's voice will remain. And it will ring out louder and more clearly than ever. And his wisdom will endure. My favorite too, but my husband's favorite word in the English language was earn.
Charlie Kirk's funeral will take place on September 21 in his home state of Arizona, with President Donald Trump being in attendance. Now turning to the pro-Australia rallies that took place in capital cities around the nation on Saturday the 13th of September. I was on the ground in Melbourne, where there was actually two separate rallies that converged on Victoria's Parliament House. But this did not deter attendance, with 5,000 Australian patriots gathering, though not as many as the August 31st March for Australia in Melbourne. The Australia Unites Against Government Corruption Melbourne rally had its speaker system set up on the steps of Parliament House. Their speakers included Australia Unites co-organisers Darren Bergworth, the founder of My Place Community Group, Craig Cole, the founder of Leave Our Kids Alone. Other prominent speakers were Bernie Finn from the Family First Party and Jackie Dundee, who brought controversy by saying there was a need to bring justice for accused double police killer Desi Friedman, describing him as a good man. The Save Australia rally was organised by the Melbourne Freedom Rally leader Harrison McLean and was supported by Nick Patterson, leader of the Australian Peacemakers, Greg Cheeseman of Celebrate Australia, and Morgan C. Jonas of the Freedom Party of Victoria. At about 1:20 p.m, the Save Australia rally decided to march to Flagstaff Gardens, where they had their own stage set up. They were blocked from marching north of Spring Street by Victoria Police, as the anti-racism, anti-Nazi, pro-Aboriginal sovereignty counter-protesters were nearby. So they had to jump the water barriers to march down Burke Street en route to Flagstaff Gardens. 5,000 attended the Sydney Australia Unites rally. However, only 1,000 attended in Brisbane. There was much controversy when Tricky Tritty, who leads the People's Revolution, which was one of the sponsors of the Australia Unites rallies, called the national organisers of the March for Australia racists. The next March for Australia will be on Sunday, October 19th. Locations again are yet to be locked in. The next Save Australia rally will be on Saturday, November 15th. And Monica Schmidt of Reignite Democracy will organise a Put Australia First rally on Saturday, November 29. So there are more rallies to come. The September 13 rallies in Australia coincided with another worldwide rally for freedom. The biggest rally was easily the Unite the Kingdom rally in London, led by Tommy Robinson, where over 1 million attended. British patriots expressed their outrage at the continued illegal migrant boats coming across the English Channel and being housed in hotels for free. An illegal migrant from Ethiopia, Hadash Kebatu, was recently jailed for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl in the town of Epping, telling her she would be a good wife and he wanted to have a baby with her. There is also continued outrage at two-tier policing and also the continued crackdown on free speech. The Starmer government is one of the most unpopular British governments in history. He condemned the Unite the Kingdom rally. Nigel Farage's Reform Party is leading in the polls, albeit the next election isn't until 2029. That's all for tonight. Stay with us as we will continue to cover future rallies here in Melbourne. You can see the highlights from Melbourne's September 13th rallies on the Unshackled's YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey channel. I'm Tim Wilms, and that's Snapshot. Good night.